Here we go, yo. We're live. This is the Big Opel podcast. I'm 2 Chainz. That's Jamal. And today is Tuesday. And as we've been announcing all week, we got the man himself. We got Nova Pros, the founder, the promoter, the mad scientist that's bringing all of these great matches and excitement to the DMV, Northern Virginia area. Mike King, how you going, man? How's it going?
It's going well, man. It's going well. Big show, big week, Thanksgiving and all. So I can't wait.
We got some. We're being blessed by the presence of your baby back there.
Yeah, she decided that she can talk now, so she won't shut up.
So
she'll be cutting promos in no time.
Or running the place in no time.
Yeah. As soon as she can, she's gonna run this place. I'm tired.
But guys, everybody's tuning in. You know, we're talking Nova Pro. We got so much to talk about tonight because I mean, arguably, we may have the biggest show of 2017 for Nova Pro this year, and this Friday in being the 11th dimension. I mean, this card is super stacked. It's ridiculous, and
it actually is ridiculous, Mike.
It's. I'm just saying. If I'm gonna start the show off by saying this: if you don't have your ticket now, front row is long gone. But I believe there's a few more GAs, and I'm telling you to book them now because when people get to the door and you get there and you're turned away, I'm sorry, it is what it is. But you're hearing it now. $20. Step over to their Tumblr page or Facebook page or their Twitter page and purchase those tickets right now. And while you're at it, you might as well get for what's going to be an awesome show on December 2 because it will be their first show, which will be streamed live on Powerbomb TV and being such great heights, which this card is slowly building to be even bigger than this one. So it's just, you guys are up in the ante more and more, man. Like, oh God, what do we do? Not to mention, we haven't even talked about 2018 yet, but let's start one thing at a time. One thing at a time. We are here, 11th Dimension, this Friday. Airdress, Jamal?
It is the Jewish Community Center in Northern Virginia, 8900 Little River Turnpike in Fairfax, just outside of the Beltway. And its show starts at what, 8 o'clock, 7:30.
We're due 7:15. Doors open actually.
Oh, okay. Because we have the pre-show, the kickoff match. That's going to be what, Crab Wrestling's champion. I can't think of his name.
He is the Bad Mother Trucker.
That's right.
Mac Buckler, the current Crab World Heavyweight Champion.
Let's talk about that for a second. So Crab, I would, if I'm speaking correctly, will be considered a brother promotion for Nova Pro, correct?
Yeah. So we have a very close association with Crab Wrestling. Crab, their students have been, the ring crew and extra staff at Nova Pro events pretty much since the inception. For those of you who don't know what Crab is, they run in Southern Maryland, mostly Ridge, Maryland. They do a lot of like charity shows for like local Catholic schools and stuff like that. Their school is operated by head trainers Money Green and Sanjay Dutt. So, two Nova Pro, longtime Nova Pro roster members are at the head of this thing. And we decided we're going to showcase our brother promotion this Friday night at 11th Dimension. I was just recently at their show in September doing commentary with Ed Dow. I liked a lot of the stuff I saw, so why not give a chance for them to spotlight some of their talents. They have not announced who will be challenging Mac Butler for the title, so I guess we'll all have to wait and see this Friday night.
All right. Shout out to Josh also from Crab Wrestling as well, another friend to the show as well. But yeah, 7:15 so it's the start time. So yeah, get there early once again because you got a title defense as soon as you walk in the door. So that's going to be exciting. Before we even go down the card, I mean, you made another announcement which was recently, I believe it was yesterday, in saying that you officially have a new snack bar vendor who's going to be Mo Burgers. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so for those of you who have been to our JCC events before, in the past, we have ran the snack bar personally. We've had, meatball sandwiches and pulled chicken sandwiches that my dad makes. I know Jamal's a big fan of the Crockett of Destiny.
Yeah, the Crockett of Destiny is, it's a good time. And the Nova Pro Pizza Party was kind of nuts, too.
Yeah, that's actually because somebody else bought the spot in July and then never showed up. So we had to get pizza last minute.
Yeah, the pizza party broke out, so that was awesome.
But, so...
What an audible that was.
As you've heard, I have a 5-month-old daughter now. When she was born, a lot of responsibilities that we had in Nova Pro Wrestling, including bringing half the stuff, like the merchandise, the concessions and everything, we kind of had to give those up because of, having a car seat in our car and a baby and everything. We didn't really have enough room to help out as much to get stuff to the venue. So it became pretty hard on my dad to bring, the meatballs and the crock pots and everything, along with our extensive line of merchandise now. So it became, so we've been trying some vendors out. We had a couple of gentlemen at the last JCC show do some hot dogs and stuff, but we also wanted to look for some local businesses that could kind of benefit from being showcased in front of a local audience. And Mo Burgers actually has a food truck that they park outside of the National Mall a couple days a week and some other places in DC. So I'm excited to see what they bring to the table this Friday. I'm really intrigued by their burgers. So
I've had them before because one of the big food truck stops is Metro Center at Fairfax Square. So I've had them before downtown at work, and it'll be interesting to see what they bring. See if they bring the whole menu. And actually, it'll be interesting to see if they bring the truck, because how will they have it set up? And
I've actually been told so the truck's going to be parked outside, but they'll have a table inside, so they'll be cooking outside, but somebody will be like operating the table inside.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, and just from what I've seen from your official Twitter page, they'll be having all types of burgers: mini, mo, sloppy, sumu, more meat, more problems. I mean, cheese sticks.
Yeah, I'm really interested in Mo Meat, Mo Problems, to be honest. I have no idea what that entails, but I guess I'm going to find out.
Sounds interesting. So it's only getting better. And again, another announcement is going on for this show too. Before we even talk about anything wrestling, is there will be an official toy drive. So if you're fan of Nova Pro, they did it last year and they're doing it again this year. So fans, you come to the show, please drop off your unwrapped holiday gifts and donations to the JCC lobby. It's all for good cause, and also too, you'll be doing the Nova Pro prize pack for this as well. And could you explain or talk about that a little?
Yeah, so for every toy that one of our fans donates to the JCC toy drive, Nova Pro will donate a toy as well. So we're gonna match toy for toy, and for every toy you bring, we will give you a raffle ticket that will enter you into a raffle, and you will win a Nova Pro prize pack, which will have some Nova Pro merchandise, some extra goodies, and maybe some goodies from our friends at the gated community as well. So you can give a little, brighten a kid's holiday, and maybe even win some free stuff. So it's a good cause all around,
And we say toys, just stress the fact that it is new toys. We don't want your Raggedy Andy from 1973. So we need that thing fresh.
Yeah, I don't want your busted Goldberg figures or anything like that.
So, upon trying to get this show promoted and everything, I seek for fan engagement and wanted to get a lot of questions. And a lot of people question was just like, how does Nova Pro go bigger than what they're doing now? And it just seems like it's this one thing after another. I mean, looking at Nova Pro history, you had one show in 2015. 2016, you went with 8. This year, you will have done 12 shows. You've already announced 4 for next year. I mean, they're up in the ante each and every year. So absolutely does intrigue me for how do you go any bigger? And then you look at next year's card, all women's show, Commonwealth Cup for 2 days, one guy, one woman. It's just getting bigger. Is there anything else that the mad scientist is cooking up for the later part of next year?
Well, you're just gonna have to find out. We did release a lot of dates for the Annandale Volunteer Fire Department. We will have some JCC dates as the months go on, and we'll have some announcements. I can confirm that American Slang, Nova Project 4, and the Black Friday show will all be at the JCC next year. We might possibly be adding another kind of concept show. I won't go into too much detail about that just yet, but that will be added for April at the JCC if it goes down. And you mentioned that we already have some shows announced. We have February 16th at the Annandale Volunteer Fire Department. March 10th will actually be a double header once again with our 2018 tryout show in the afternoon, and then our all-women's affair at night, Ripper to Shreds. And we can confirm, the two-day Commonwealth Cup will take place on June 8th and June 9th, with the Women's Commonwealth Cup taking place on the afternoon of June 9th. So it's 3 shows in 2 days. And I could say right now that tickets for the Commonwealth Cup weekend, for the March 10th day of shows, and for the February 16th event will all go on sale on New Year's Day.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
And if everything works out as planned, I will hopefully have the first entrant in the Commonwealth Cup announced on New Year's Day.
Oh man! So did you have it? Yeah, February Cupid's Chokehold, March you have Sink and Swim, which will be the tryout show. If you took the tryout show last year and Life's Like a Box of Chocolate, you damn sure don't want to miss this one. And then you have Ripper to Shreds, which will be the second part of that show for March. And again, you have a 2-day, 3-show match in the Commonwealth Cup. And how nuts is that going to be? Are y'all offering sleepover packages or something? Because I just don't know what to expect for that, man.
I'm sure I'm going to connect with Ed Dow from the gay community. Maybe we can do maybe we can get like a local bar or Q Club or something to sponsor a couple after parties for y'all. Maybe we can get like a hotel deal. I want to make a weekend out of it, man. I want to do like Bola, but in Nova. You know what I mean? So
I hear that.
Let's do it up.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
So this Friday we're back for again 11th Dimension. I mean, look at this card. You have a few debuts in Deonna Purrazzo. Yeah, Willard, Utah. Lufisto's also going to be there as well too. And just looking down the card, you have huge names already there. That's returning from Fred Yehi to Jonathan Gresham, Faye Jackson, Mia Yim, Veda Scott. It goes on and on. The Carnies. It's what an incredible card this is gonna be. I'm so excited. We'll be there. We'll be getting you guys ready to get into the door. We'll be doing a pre-show as always, but putting together a 5-on-5 women's traditional Survivor Series. What actually went on through your head when you got to this point where you said we're going to do this?
So I think I decided to do it in July. That we're going to do the 5-on-5 women's Survivor Series match, and it was kind of because I had pitched it to someone. I won't say their name, but I pitched it to someone, and they're like, and this is after Cool for the Summer. I pitched it, and they were like, how are you going to get 10 girls? And I was like, we just had like 6 on this show, and we're going to have 8 next month. Like we can. And it's just kind of like it is at the end of the day to, elevate the storyline between Faye Jackson and Veda Scott. But it's also like a celebration of kind of like where we've gone in the Nova Pro women's division. Last year, it was a lot of, we did have a women's match on almost every show, but it was a lot of like Veda Scott's going to wrestle whoever we can get this month. Brittany Blake's going to wrestle whoever we can get this month. And it wasn't like a consistent thread. It wasn't like a whole division until this year. And this year, Veda and Brittany were prominent, but we also had, Angela Slane and Jordynne Grace and Faye Jackson, and Allie Cat's been making her name, and and Sahara 7's been making her name. And like, it's just grown to such a point where Nova Pro has become one of the places where women come and they want to be here because they know they're going to get showcased. They know they're not just going to get put in these spotlight matches every month that kind of don't really mean anything. They know they're going to be a part of something bigger. They know they're going to be given time and being able to showcase their abilities, which is not something that a lot of indies do. Like,
right.
There's a lot of indies where it's just one women's match a show, if that, and that's kind of it. There's no like real women's storylines or anything like that, and that's not the way it should be. And
unless it's like a specialty company like WWR or something like that, or Shimmer.
Yeah. But like a lot of like like for instance, Shakara has like they had Kim and Heidi for the longest time, and I think they have like 1 or 2 women now. But like it's at like most independent promotions and most major independent promotions don't spotlight women enough, in my opinion, and we kind of want to be different, and we want to change that in a way. And I said it on Twitter, this is the main event, but I didn't want to make a big deal about it being the main event. I don't like there's like even WWE does it, and like the indies do it all the time. Like they always like, oh my God, the women are main eventing. This is so historic. This is such a big deal. And it is a big deal, don't get me wrong, but it shouldn't be a big deal. It should just be, this is the best match on the show.
This is the main event because it deserves to be the main event.
Yeah, it's the best match on the show. It deserves to be the main event. So I'm really excited for this. I think it's probably, to this point, one of the most highly anticipated matches in Nova Pro history, and I can't wait to see all 10 of them deliver.
Now, that's going to be nuts. And you did start from the women's match to the women's tag elimination match to the women's show. So that's what we call baby steps. I mean, that's a hell of a progression in, a year and a half, 2 years. Now, you're doing the 2 traditional Survivor Series styles matches. The women's match is going to close it and bring the house down. But you have the Carnies, for the first time ever, as a quartet, versus the Royal Sugar Ducklings, which sounds like a very expensive Chinese candy. But that's Arik Royal Sugar Dunkerton and the Ugly Ducklings. That's going to be a hell of a fight. So, I mean, I know that the women are going to bring it home, but that's another match that's got like main event feel, big fight feel to it as well.
Yeah, really wild match. Like a lot of combustible elements in that. Arik and his partner Chet Sterling, who can't be with us this month, have been kind of going at it with the Ugly Ducklings for the past 2 out of 3 shows. They won the first one against the Ducks. The Ducks won last month at Pumpkin Spice Larry. It's kind of a friendly rivalry, though, as you can see with Arik recruiting the Ugly Ducklings to be on his team. And I can't say I blame him. I mean, the Ugly Ducklings are one of the only few tag teams in the country that have gotten the best of Kerry Awful and Nick Iggy, the Carnies. He's also got Sugar Dunkerton, who obviously has an issue with Beau Crockett nowadays. So, and I'm really excited. This is a really like fun team, to be honest. Yeah. This seems like the kind of like 4 people I'd really want to have dinner with sometime. So,
yeah.
And the Carnies, obviously the first time as a quartet. Interesting, Beau Crockett, while he has been a Carney since May, has only really teamed with the Carnies once. Has only really like been in a match with the Carnies once, and you can kind of, I guess this is kind of maybe closer to his initiation, or kind of, maybe them seeing, when you're Beau Crockett, you might get eaten up a little bit inside because Kerry Awful, Nick Iggy, Tripp Cassidy, they're going to Beyond Wrestling. They're going to all these places as the Carnies. They're releasing promotional videos as the 3 Carnies. Right. And you're not really being spotlighted as the 4th Carney. Hell, there are people that don't follow Nova Pro Wrestling that didn't even know there was a 4th Carney. So it's just, it's one of those things where, like, if you're Beau Crockett, maybe you're coming into this match with something proved. Maybe you're like, I'm going to be the one that eliminates all 4 of these guys and prove that I am a Carney and prove that these guys need me just as much as I need them. So it should be interesting to see.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if he did the complete opposite and disappoint the Carnies to the point that he was left alone and he already just took out his long tag team partner in Innocent Isaiah, and now to not even have a backing from the Carnies now, what would absolutely be left of him after that?
He'd be a no man's land, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Beau show, needs no help. It asks for no help, but the idea is, this is kind of the Beau show, and the Beau needs to show up. It's going to be very interesting between inside of the Carney itself, because it does seem like this is Beau Crockett's your first day on the job. The internship is over. Let's see what you really got. And for a person like Beau, who's definitely been established, it's kind of a make or break for him, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. Also interesting to see what happens because of the shenanigans at Pumpkin Spice Lariats is Fred Yehi versus Jonathan Gresham, which, for any day of the year, you don't need any explanation because it's going to be awesome regardless. But you threw a little bit of paprika on there, a little bit of nutmeg, and Gresham definitely has something to prove as Fred Yehi was getting the better of Jordynne Grace last month. Gresham threw the towel, and here we are.
This is interesting because we had this rematch announced already. We didn't have any personal issues. This was just they had a kick-ass match in May. Let's do it again. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what else do you need more than that? But I don't think Fred Yehi is a bad guy for what he did to Jordynne Grace. It was a wrestling match. She signed up for it, and he did get.
She called him out.
Yeah,
let's let that be understated.
He told her to leave plenty of times,
and he was going to ball her up and stick her back in the womb.
And Jordynne kept up with him. I don't doubt Jordynne Grace ever. She's one of the best wrestlers, male or female, in the country right now. Fred Yehi got the better of her that night. I don't know if Gresham doesn't throw in the towel there, if Jordynne comes back and wins that match or not. She was put in a precarious situation. She was put in the same situation that caused the referee stoppage at the last time Fred and Gresham met. So this should be interesting to see. Jonathan Gresham, obviously, with a lot on his mind. He lost to Fred last time. Fred just beat Jordynne Grace, his girlfriend, this last month. And now I think because of that, he called a little bit of backup. He's got his new manager as the Powerbomb TV independent champion. He needs a new agent. He's got Stokely Hathaway that's going to be in his corner on Friday, and I can't say I blame him. Stokely's been involved. He's been around Fred Yehi. He knows how this man operates. He knows how this man works. So I'm going to give the edge to Gresham here. But Fred beat him once. Who says he can't beat him again?
Yeah, Stokely's definitely a guy that's been around, and he's managed the best of them on the indies, and he's definitely taken notes from Chuck Taylor. It's funny how those guys look alike, but always bring it back up. It's always a good thing, but you can never ever underestimate Fred Yehi because he just seems to have it. He just seems to take things to another level. From out of nowhere. If
you're Fred Yehi, Jonathan Gresham does have that Powerbomb independent champion, and we are streaming live on Powerbomb next month. So maybe you think a win here tonight gets me a title shot at the next show.
It's the seeds are being planted. Let's see how it develops. Another match that was pretty interesting. I didn't really know what to make of it until it was explained to me, but I've never heard of this style before. The Triathlon Survivor match, 2 out of 3 falls, and it's a singles match, a tag match, and if needed, a 6-man tag. So now the question is, you have some strategy involved. Who starts the first fall? What matchup will we see there? And then the tag match and the 6-man tag, and it's going to be Logan, Easton, LaRoux team of him and Bobby Shields and a man to be named later, and Sage Phillips, Cabana Man Dan, and I don't know if we have a third for that one.
Diamond Cut Ace Perry will be the third.
Okay.
Kind of an interesting trio that Sage put together here because, it is the 1%, and the 1% have ran Nova Pro basically since day one. And it's the 1% against Sage Phillips, Cabana Man Dan, and Ace Perry. Ace Perry is making his main show debut. Cabana Man Dan was a participant in our tryout show this year, and Sage Phillips has more pre-show matches than anybody else on the roster. So these are like the underdogs against the top, the cream of the crop, if you will. And these are like 3 guys that have lived on the pre-show, have made something to prove, and what a statement they could make. Any 3 of them could make this Friday night by beating any one of the 1%. And you talk about the 2 out of 3 falls, the strategy that goes into play. I can say from previous triathlon matches in both New Japan and our friends at CWF Mid-Atlantic, the captain actually doesn't have to wrestle. And not all 3 participants have to wrestle. If they go 2 straight falls, like they did at CWF Mid-Atlantic a couple of years ago, Trevor Lee's team went 2 straight falls, and Trevor Lee won the singles match and won the tag match. So we could see a situation where maybe Logan's feeling a little froggy, and he wrestles the singles match, the tag match, and the 6-man tag if needed. Or maybe Sage wants to prove himself and wrestles the singles match, the tag match, and the 6-man tag. Any combination is possible. And you know, we're talking about, you know, that third man on the 1%. You know, Alexander James is in Europe right now. I saw Ed Dow posted a picture of some gloves. I don't know if he's my pick if I'm Logan LaRoux, but I guess you got to go with who you got to go with. But I'm really intrigued to see who that third man could be. It literally, you know, their bank account knows no bounds, so it literally could be anyone.
Yeah, no idea. But that's the part of the mystery of it. If you're Team Phillips, how do you prepare for you know, a person that you haven't seen? How do you go forward? But you know what? They're going to have to do it, and they're going to have to do it 2 out of 3 falls.
And that's the other thing we don't talk about is that you have to have a tag team the second match. You know, maybe Logan's got a kick-ass guy as his number 3, and he's like, me and Bobby have teamed a bunch of times. We can handle the tag match, and we'll let this guy run the singles. Or maybe Sage is like, I've never really teamed with Cabana Man Dan before. I trained with Ace Perry. Like, maybe that's my partner for the tag match. It's just, it's really intriguing of like all like the different strategy and the different things you have to think about when you're the captain of this kind of match.
It's a lot of variables at play, and they're all going to have to shake down at the 11th dimension, and it will happen this coming Friday. It seems so far away, you know, a week ago, but it's here. It's here, and it's at the JCC, 8900 Little River Turnpike, the Jewish Community Center of Northern Virginia. This coming Black Friday, so after you get your shopping done, come on down to the JCC. $20 for general admission tickets. You know, full disclosure, I actually bought the last, you know, front row ticket, so you're welcome. But you know, you sent out a tweet. I immediately hopped on it because I need to be front row center for that Survivor Series match. Now, the last match that I have listed here is John Kerman versus the debuting Wheeler, Utah. Now, for Kerman, he has the no ropes match in December, and we haven't seen Wheeler, Utah. I haven't seen Wheeler, Utah in Nova Pro, and I would hope. And Kermit's professional, but I would hope that he's not looking past Utah.
Well, I quote
to Dominic Rooney.
He's already said that he's just in the way. So, to December.
I wouldn't. Yeah, if I'm Kerman, I don't underestimate Wheeler, Utah. I mean, you look at Kerman's career in Nova Pro and his stats this year. For a very long time, he was very, very successful. And then at Nova Project, he lost to Tim Donst. Last month, mixed tag. We all saw what happened there. It's the reason Dom Guarini isn't invited back this month. And now we got Kerman and Utah. And if you're Kerman, I think this is a must-win. All right, like Wheeler, Utah is one of the fastest rising stars on the Indies. He can do it. He can beat John Kerman. I have no doubt about that. But if you're Kerman, this is a must-win. You have to get your head straight. You got to get your head right going into this no ropes match next month with Dominic Guarini. I have personally been there for a no ropes match before. It is brutal. All right, there is nothing like a no ropes match in professional wrestling. And if you're John Kerman or Dominic Guarini, you have to be fully prepared for this. You have to have the right mindset. And there's nothing better to get you in that right mindset than a big win here on one of the biggest shows of the year. And if you're Kerman, this is a must win. And you got to point out, we have to point out, this Saturday, Powerbomb TV is having a live streaming event. On that show, Dominic Guarini requested to wrestle Wheeler, Utah. So if you lose to Wheeler, Utah at 11th Dimension and Dom beats him the next night, what does that say about what kind of ego is that going to give Dom Guarini? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of chatter between this coming Friday and December 28th. But the bottom line is momentum has to start somewhere. And Kerman, you know, he's got to get it going. And Wheeler, Utah, well, he's just in the way.
I'm just afraid that the Virginia Fight Committee will be front row seats to make sure this one doesn't get bloody, because there seems to be some bad blood there, and considering that this can go anywhere and end up anyhow, I just don't see how someone doesn't strike blood here. But either way, it's going to be a great match. Going to be very technical. They're going to be in each other's head, and I look forward to that. And look, you could look at all this star power that's going up and down this card. Damn well, this match between John Kerman and Wheeler Yuta could steal the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, don't sleep, because both men have something to prove. I know we've been talking a lot about Kerman, and that's largely because, you know, Utah is making his debut in Nova Pro, but he could come out there and mollywop John Kerman, shock everybody, and that's puts ourselves in a different pace going towards December.
Yeah, I mean,
so you know, we definitely can't take the kid for granted.
Yeah, we see it all the time here in Nova Pro. People kind of make their debut and maybe, you know, take a loss on their first night and don't really ever come back. Like, this is, if you win, there's no resume or there's no highlight reel that can prove yourself more than a win.
Yep.
And that's the best way to earn a spot. And if he beats one of the most established guys on the roster, you got to think that Wheeler Yuta is one of those guys we look at using a lot more in 2018.
So
it definitely sounds like.
So just a few questions I have coming off of Twitter. Number one, this one will be coming from our friend Dennis over at the Square Circle Sirens, and his Twitter handle is @Dennis_SCS. He wanted to know, why did you pull the trigger on the women's Commonwealth Cup?
It seemed like a natural step, I think. I am really, really excited for the Making Towns Classic in May. And I know a lot of people aren't going to be able to make that tournament. And, you know, it just seemed like we had a really successful Commonwealth Cup this year. We were so successful, we decided to make it a big weekend. And I thought, why not, you know, do a women's Commonwealth Cup to kind of showcase, like we've said, we want to be able to showcase the men and the women equally here at Nova Pro Wrestling. And having a Commonwealth Cup for both men and women kind of shows that level playing field between them. So I'm really, really excited for that. It's kind of like how in March, you know, the NCAA men's basketball tournament and the women's basketball tournament kind of going at the same time. It's kind of the same deal. So I'm really excited for the women's Commonwealth Cup, and I think it's going to be a great weekend of shows all around, to be honest.
Now, I kind of triggered towards this question earlier, and another question coming from Twitter from our friend Doug Jimenez at DJ Batcat. So he talked about the progression that you made over the year, over going into your third year with having now, you know, being announced, having the Commonwealth Cup and the 2-day show, the Women's Commonwealth Cup, streaming live on Powerbomb TV. So after all these, like Jamal said earlier, after all these baby steps, where do you actually see Nova Pro evolving going into this third year?
So I've been really proud of the progress we've made so far. I have never wanted to turn Nova Pro into a touring brand or anything. It is Northern Virginia Pro Wrestling for, you know, the DMV area. I've always wanted to be the best independent wrestling that the DMV has seen, and I just want to keep building the area up, man. I want Nova Pro to be one of those destination indies. You know how, like, people talk about, oh, I gotta buy PWG tickets. I gotta get a flight to PWG, or I gotta go to AAW, or how Jamal's going to Smash. Like, I want somebody like Jamal in Canada to come here for one of our shows. And, you know, like, I want Nova Pro to be that destination indie that people, you know, plan vacations around and stuff. So, and I also want, you know, this to be like a talking point for the local area. I want, you know, if you see like, if you know, meet somebody at a Raw taping, I want you to be able to be like, you know, there's wrestling in Fairfax or Annandale. And I have always just wanted, I grew up here and I've always wanted independent wrestling here. And I'm so happy to be able to bring it here. And we gotta build the area up, man. That's our main goal, is to keep building this area up.
That's passion. No matter what you want to say, that's passion straight up.
No, there's definitely a market, but unfortunately, there's been just a void between northern North Carolina and Baltimore, and it's just and Richmond, and they just skipped over us, and then going to Northeastern Maryland and stuff. So it's great to have a local indie scene, and the community is growing. I mean, a lot of these guys, we've come together over the past year or two or three, and it's great to see the community growing. And hopefully it goes bigger than from here. But none of that matters because everything starts this coming Friday at the Jewish Community Center in.
There you have it.
There you go. 11th Dimension. It's going to be nuts, and it sounds like just like a cliche at this point. This is probably the biggest show of the year. Now, I mean, it really does. Like it sounds like old hat, but it's the biggest show of the year. The Women's Survivor Series style match is closing it with Team Faye, Faye Jackson, Mia Jordan Grace, Lufisto, PAWG, and Brittany Blake versus Team Veda of Veda Scott, Deonna Purrazzo, Laynie Lux, Sahara 7, and Allie Cat. And you got the triathlon match. You got Kerman versus Wheeler, Utah. You got the other Survivor Series style match of the Carnies versus Royal, Sugar Dunkerton, and Ugly Ducklings. Yehi versus Gresham 2, and this time it's personal. This time it is personal. It all goes down this weekend. 7:15, the door is open. We're going to be doing the kickoff show on the Nova Pro YouTube page. Please turn in. 6:30 from the JCC. We'll be there. And yeah, man, it's going to be a hell of a weekend this Friday.
So many storylines in this Survivor Series match that I just keep looking at. Like, I'm just looking at vectors crossing here, and I'm just like, man, we're going to have so much to talk about for Friday, but I can't wait. And before we get out of here real quick, two other things, too. Big announcement for Such Great Heights. You have Tim Donst, safety first Tim Donst, who is absolutely one of Nova Pro's fan favorites, and I fear anyone who ever has to make their debut in coming in to face him because this guy is so over, it's ridiculous. Good luck on even being visible in the ring when Tim Donst is around. Against now, when I saw this person announce solo, I was like, holy hell! Like, what is Mike doing? We can't get enough of this, like this Nova Pro thing. It just keeps getting better and better. From us not even having a December show till it being streamed live on Powerbomb TV to now just going way out on a limb on names. Now you have Jimmy Jacobs debuting here in December. Could you talk about the decision to make that call?
We talk about every month, this is the biggest show of the year. This is the biggest show of the year. This is the biggest show of the year. This is the biggest show ever. Like, let's not front, all right? I do not like leaving the house in December, okay? So the fact that I'm running a show in December should tell you that this is a big deal, okay? And it is on Powerbomb TV. We are literally going to be on more eyes than we've ever been in front of before. You have to go all in on the biggest show ever. And when you go all in, you gotta take risks. You gotta bring in some backup. And Jimmy Jacobs is one of those guys that is synonymous with independent professional wrestling. He is one of the biggest names. He's on everybody's tongues lately, and he's going against Tim Donst. And Jimmy Jacobs has been in a lot of wars lately. Tim Donst has been in a lot of wars. I kind of hope, I love safety first. I love the hard hat. I love the yellow jacket. I kind of hope he leaves all that at the back. I kind of hope we see the Tim Donst that was going through Legos and tables and pyramids of chairs last year. And I want to see the Jimmy Jacobs that was bludgeoning people up with spikes. We're going to give these people on Powerbomb TV a show on December 28th, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
You got the thing with Powerbomb Down TV. And, of course, if you want to sign up, you have a promo code, right?
Yeah, if you so Powerbomb TV is absolutely the best streaming service on independent wrestling ever. Like, people loved FloSlam, but FloSlam sucked. All right, Powerbomb TV is the place you need to go if you want independent wrestling. You have independent wrestling from the 90s, from 2000. You have places from Portugal. You have places from Italy. You have places from all over Mexico and Japan on Powerbomb TV. You have Nova Pro Wrestling. You have AIW, Beyond. Come on. Like, this is the place you need to go. You need to spend your $9.99 a month if you're going to start a independent wrestling streaming service. The best way to support Nova Pro Wrestling besides watching the shows on Powerbomb TV, is to sign up with our promo code NovaPro for 20 days free. We get a little bit of kickback for every person that signs up for our promo code and stays on the service. If you want to support us and also check out some great independent wrestling, you got to sign up for Powerbomb TV with the promo code NovaPro. This weekend, they got 2 big live streaming events. On Saturday, they got their own show, Was Up, from Philadelphia.
Philly, right?
Yeah, from Philly with Jody Fleisch versus Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah.
MJF is going to be taking on Filthy Tom Lawler, and a bunch of other great matches. The Ugly Ducklings are going to be there. Logan, Easton, LaRoux is going to be there. Dominic Garrini is going to be there. And then Sunday, they're going to be streaming the tournament for tomorrow from WWR, the big women's tournament that will feature Nova Pro favorites like Jordynne Grace. Allie Cat will be in non-tournament action, and Veda Scott will also be in non-tournament action. So you should definitely sign up for Powerbomb TV. Check out some of our old shows. Tweet me some of your thoughts. I love seeing these GIFs from old shows. So, yeah, you got to sign up for Powerbomb TV, get your 20 days free, and then stick around for the big live streaming event next month if you can't make it.
Yeah, I'm going to be up at the when I heard Logan's going to be at the show in Philly, I'm like, okay, well, I can make that drive. And now it's like Gresham's going to be there versus Jody Fleisch, who is insane, and MJF, who I hate, but I love to boo. So yeah, that's going to be nuts. But if I couldn't be there, if I weren't committed to being there already, I would definitely watch it on Powerbomb.tv. Make it up to Rhode Island for that WWR show. I would definitely be watching that there.
Absolutely, yeah, man. And there's like I've been watching a lot of old IWA Mid-South myself, so there's like a bunch of cool stuff on there right now.
Yeah, the Ted Perry Invitational is a must watch, and you'll be surprised how many familiar faces on cable TV that you see that started out in IWA Mid-South.
I'll make a personal recommendation if you sign up for Powerbomb TV. Definitely check out Spring Heat 2002 from IWA Mid-South on that show. Check out all our shows too, absolutely. But check out that show. That show features a 3-way dance between Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, and CM Punk. So you gotta check that show out.
Yeah, I'll say one of my favorite matches of all time is Claudio Castagnoli versus Mike Quackenbush from the TPI 06 first round.
I think, right?
I think it's 06, but either watch them both.
Yeah,
because they're both awesome. But also Nova Pro's American Slang last year. And One Crazy Summer last year was insane. So a lot of guys that you see on cable television this week, we were at that show, so definitely worth a look. But Powerbomb.tv, spell it as it sounds, and it's $9.99 a month, $100 for the year. So there's a bargain right there. And of course, use the code NovaPro when you sign up.
That's right.
Yeah, man. So this weekend we have the live 11th Dimension at the JCC of Northern Virginia on 8900 Little River Turnpike. It's 7:15. Doors open. Show gets underway at 7:30-ish. We're going to have a Crab Wrestling champion in his debuting match versus we don't know. It could be anyone, it could be everyone, but it's going to happen as a dark match, and then the show goes on from there. Tickets are $20, general admission, because the good seats are all sold out. But every seat is a good seat, but the great seats are sold out.
Well,
and
of
course, 2 James and I will be there for the pre-show.
Well, you know what? Considering how matches never really stay in the ring nowadays, your seat may just be actually where the ring is at. So who knows? But yes, be in the house. This be in the house regardless. GA is the place to be because front row is gone. If you do plan on purchasing at the door, cash is king. It's always been king because they're the kings. So you make sure you bring that cash and you go straight in.
Eric Royal has a habit of eviscerating sections. He can turn a section to standing room only at a moment's notice. So
yeah, all day, or bowling alley, because that actually happened to us, and you can see that on Powerbomb TV as well as us being good Samaritans lifting up the champion of the 1%. So there you have it. Hey, but Mike, before we let you go for the evening, do you have any other closing remarks, or anything you want to give to the fans of Nova Pro?
Yeah, man. Last year we did Black Friday, Paradise for the Dashboard Light. Main event was Chris Hero versus Eric Pro. It was one of my favorite shows of the year. This year I went all in. I want to top last year so bad. I want this to be the best show of the year until next month. But you got to check it out. You got to check it out. You know, leftovers are great. Shopping's great. The movies are great. But, you know, there's only one place you need to be on Black Friday, and that's the JCC in Fairfax. So make sure you get your tickets now and come spend your holiday with us.
Yep.
That's
right. If I can fly back from New York at a moment's notice, you can brave the Beltway. I mean, just get on it, people, and get your tickets now at their Tumblr or Facebook page.
Papa Hales is going to be there, and he's 60 years old.
Right.
No excuses. As we say all the time, every pre-show, no excuses. $20. You're a little bit nervous. You're not sure you want to go. Come on, spend the $20. The shows are only getting better. Get on the wave now, ladies and gentlemen. But again, Mike King, the founder, the head promoter, the mad scientist of Nova Pro, bringing you all of the greatest shows ever to be in the DMV area. We look forward to having we look forward to being there. We look forward to seeing some new faces and fans and everybody that's listening. You guys be there. Get your turkey on, but come to the show Black Friday. Bring your family, because I know you're gonna have family in town. Bring the turkey. Bring the turkey. And we're gonna do the thing. So again, this is Mike King. This is the Big Go Bell podcast. You guys meet us there this Friday, 11th Dimension. Thanks for listening.